True transformation begins within, not in the noise of the external world, but in the sacred silence of your inner being. It is in this stillness that your divine self speaks, guiding you toward the fulfillment of your desires. To align with your highest potential, you must withdraw from the distractions and negative influences that cloud your vision. Silence is not emptiness, it is the space where imagination works its miracles. By embracing silence and cutting unnecessary ties, you create the conditions for your inner world to manifest your dreams into reality. Imagination is the bridge between the seen and the unseen, the external and the internal. It is the most profound and powerful connection you will ever have, because it is through imagination that you create your reality. When you focus inward and cultivate this sacred faculty, you step into the role of the creator. The external world, with all its distractions and influences, is merely a shadow of what you hold within. To rely on external validation or relationships to shape your life is to hand over your power to forces outside your control. Instead, true transformation begins when you embrace the truth that your inner world is the origin of everything you experience. In the silence of your mind, you are free to imagine boldly without fear or hesitation. This silence is not an absence of thought, but a deliberate withdrawal from the noise of the world. It is a choice to turn inward and connect with the infinite potential that resides within you. When you imagine, you are not just thinking, you are creating. Every vivid image, every heartfelt feeling you nurture in your mind sets a process into motion. The world you see around you is a mirror, reflecting the sum of your persistent inner states. If you hold a vision steadfastly in your imagination, the world must, by law, conform to that vision. Imagination does not require approval or permission from others. It does not need to explain itself or justify its visions. This is why it thrives in silence, away from the chatter and opinions of the world. When you share your dreams too soon or seek validation for your desires, you dilute their power. You invite doubt, criticism, and external influences into a process that requires purity of focus. The most profound creations are born in the quiet moments when you dare to imagine without limitation, free from the constraints of what others believe is possible. To nurture this sacred connection, you must prioritize your inner world over the outer. This often means cutting ties with distractions that pull you away from your vision. It is not about rejecting people or circumstances, but about refining your focus. Relationships and situations that do not align with your highest ideals can drain your energy and cloud your imagination. By choosing silence and solitude, you give yourself the gift of clarity. You create the space needed to align with your desires and allow them to take root in your consciousness. Your imagination is the ultimate connection, not just to your desires, but to the divine within you. In the Bible, it is written that God creates through the word. That word is not spoken aloud, but is the inner movement of imagination, the silent decree of your inner being. When you use your imagination, you are acting as the creator, shaping the unseen substance of your desires into form. This process does not depend on the opinions or actions of others. It is a sacred, personal communion with the infinite. The beauty of imagination is that it allows you to live from the end, to feel now what you wish to experience later. This is not a mere daydream, but a conscious assumption of the state of being you desire. When you persist in this state, you draw all necessary circumstances, people, and events into alignment with it. The outer world must yield to the inner vision, for it has no power of its own. It is a reflection, and the source of that reflection is your imagination. In silence, you strengthen this connection. You free yourself from the need to explain or justify your desires. You trust the process, knowing that imagination is the creative force that governs all reality. There is no greater power than this. When you prioritize your inner world, you align yourself with the truth that everything begins and ends within you. You no longer seek external validation or depend on others to fulfill your needs. Instead, you become the master of your destiny, shaping your life according to the images and feelings you hold in your imagination. Silence is not the absence of sound, but the absence of distraction. It is the state of pure being where the external world fades away and the inner world takes center stage. In this silence, there is a deeper power at work, a connection to the divine that is often overshadowed by the constant noise of daily life. It is in silence that we come to truly understand who we are and what we are capable of. The external world, with its relentless demands and opinions, can cloud our vision and interfere with the clarity we need to create our desires. But when we embrace silence, we step into a space where only our inner truth resides. Here we are free to imagine, to dream, and to become the creators of our reality. Silence allows us to hear the whispers of our intuition, the subtle guidance that directs us toward our highest potential. It is in the quiet moments that we can connect deeply with our true selves, unencumbered by the noise of others' expectations or judgments. The world constantly tells us who we should be, what we should desire, and how we should live. But in silence, these voices dissipate, and we are left with the truth of our own being. This is the space where transformation begins. It is in silence that we can hear the call of our soul, urging us to step into our power and fulfill our divine purpose. The power of silence is not passive. It is an active, intentional state that demands our full presence. In this stillness, we become acutely aware of our thoughts, our feelings, and the subtle energies that shape our experience. Silence is not a void, it is a fertile ground where our thoughts and desires can take root and grow. When we quiet the mind and still the body, we create a space for our inner vision to emerge with clarity. It is here that we can imagine our lives as we truly want them to be, without the interference of doubt or fear. In the silence, we do not need to explain ourselves or seek approval. The world outside may question our choices, may doubt our dreams, but in silence, we need not defend our desires. We know that what we imagine is already becoming reality in the unseen. The power of silence is the power of faith, faith in the unseen, faith in the creative process, and faith in our own ability to manifest what we have already claimed in our imagination. The more we trust in the process, the more our desires move from the realm of the invisible to the visible. Silence also gives us the strength to cut ties with anything that does not align with our vision. The external world is full of distractions, relationships, situations, and environments that pull us away from our true purpose. These distractions can create noise in our minds, making it difficult to hear the still, small voice within. In silence, we can recognize these distractions for what they are, influences that keep us from realizing our highest potential. When we choose to withdraw from them, we create a space for something new, something better to emerge. Silence is not about isolation or rejection, it is about purification. It is about clearing away the clutter so that we can hear the call of our higher self and align with our true desires. The beauty of silence is that it is always available to us. No matter where we are or what is happening in our lives, we can always choose to step into this inner sanctuary. It does not require external conditions, it requires only our willingness to let go of the noise and turn inward. In silence, we find our true power. We find the connection to our inner wisdom and the divine force that guides us. And from this place of stillness, we can create anything we desire. In embracing silence, we give ourselves permission to be who we truly are, without the need to prove anything to the world. We stop seeking validation from others and begin to trust in the power of our imagination. This is where true freedom lies, when we can be still and know that everything we need is already within us. Silence is the doorway to our highest potential. It is in this space that we can hear the answers to our deepest questions and the guidance that leads us to our most magnificent self. Selective withdrawal is an act of immense power. It is the decision to remove yourself from influences that do not serve your highest good, whether they come in the form of relationships, situations, or even the inner chatter that disturbs your peace. This process is not one of rejection or avoidance, but of refinement. By choosing to distance yourself from distractions and negative energies, you are affirming your commitment to your highest vision. You are clearing the space necessary for your true desires to come to fruition. In life, we often find ourselves surrounded by people, environments, and situations that do not align with the path we are meant to walk. These external influences can subtly or overtly pull us off course, leading us to doubt ourselves or lose sight of our purpose. The people around us, even with good intentions, may offer advice that does not resonate with our soul's calling. They may question our dreams or impose their own limitations on us. In these moments, selective withdrawal becomes essential. It is not that we are abandoning others or turning our backs on them, but rather that we are choosing to honor ourselves and our vision above all else. When we withdraw from negative influences, we create a protected space where our energy can be directed toward the manifestation of our desires. Selective withdrawal also means releasing attachment to situations that drain our energy or distract us from our goals. Life has a way of pulling us in many directions, and sometimes we find ourselves caught up in circumstances that feel more like obligations than opportunities. These distractions, whether they are career related, social, or personal, can prevent us from focusing on what truly matters. By intentionally withdrawing from these situations, we are not running away from challenges, but choosing to redirect our energy toward what is in alignment with our true purpose. This decision requires strength, courage, and a deep trust in the process of creation. As you begin to withdraw from what does not serve you, you will notice the shift in energy. Your thoughts will become clearer and your vision sharper. By making space for only the people, experiences, and opportunities that align with your goals, you begin to attract more of what you truly desire. The law of attraction works on the principle of focus. What you focus on expands. When you choose to align yourself with only that which supports your vision, you invite more of it into your life. It is a natural law. The energy you put out into the world will return to you in equal measure. By stepping away from distractions and negativity, you are creating an environment where your desires can thrive. Selective withdrawal is also a practice of self-care. It is an acknowledgement that in order to give your best to the world, you must first nurture and protect your own energy. When you surround yourself with people and situations that uplift you, that encourage your growth and development, You are better able to share your gifts with others. But when you remain in environments that are toxic or draining, you deplete your energy and diminish your ability to create and give. By selectively withdrawing from these environments, you are not being selfish, you are being wise. You are investing in your own well being so that you can show up as your most authentic, powerful self. In this process of withdrawal, there is an important lesson: the world will not fall apart without your constant attention. The more you withdraw from the distractions and demands of the outside world, the more you realize that the universe will continue to unfold according to divine law. Your purpose is not to control every outcome, but to align with it. When you step back and trust in the flow of life, you allow your desires to be fulfilled in ways that go beyond what your mind could have ever imagined. It's important to remember that selective withdrawal is not about isolating yourself forever or cutting people off in anger. It is about choosing where you invest your energy. It is about recognizing that you are the most important person in your life and that by nurturing yourself, you empower the world around you. Through this process, you not only create space for your dreams to grow, but also make room for the right people and experiences to enter your life, those that will truly support and uplift you on your journey. When you make the conscious decision to cut ties with distractions, you are affirming your commitment to your own growth. You are choosing to trust that by focusing on yourself and your dreams, you are honoring the divine purpose that you are here to fulfill. Selective withdrawal is the key to unlocking your full potential, for it allows you to live from the inside out, creating a reality that reflects the truth of who you really are. Living from the end is a powerful principle, one that shifts the focus from external circumstances to an inner state of being. It is the practice of imagining and feeling as though your desired reality has already manifested. This approach is not about waiting for the right conditions to materialize or hoping for external change. Instead, it is about embodying the feelings and attitudes of the person you wish to become or the life you wish to live right now, in the present moment. By living from the end, you begin to shape your reality from within rather than being shaped by the world around you. When you live from the end, you do not wait for the circumstances to change before you act or feel differently. You step into the mental and emotional state of your desired outcome, knowing that what you assume in your mind must eventually manifest in your world. This principle is rooted in the understanding that the world outside of us is simply a reflection of the internal state we maintain. The key is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, whether that wish is for a new job, a loving relationship, financial or actual abundance, or personal growth. You do not need to wait for the perfect moment or conditions to align. Instead, you create that moment now by feeling, imagining, and believing that your desire has already come to fruition. Living from the end requires faith in the unseen. It asks you to trust that the feelings you nurture today will shape your experiences tomorrow. This is where many people falter. They become so focused on the external evidence of their desires that they forget the essential truth: the physical world cannot reveal the full picture of what is to come. What appears as lack or delay is simply the outer manifestation of what is still being shaped within. When you live from the end, you know that the seed you plant in your imagination today is already growing, even if you cannot yet see it. Your task is to stay true to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, to persist in that inner knowing, and to trust that the outer world must eventually align with your inner state. This process also involves letting go of attachment to how your desires will manifest. Many people become fixated on the details of how things will unfold, the how and when. But living from the end means trusting that the universe will bring your desires to you in the perfect way and at the perfect time. When you focus on the end result, on the feeling of having what you want, you release the need to control the process. You allow life to work in its own way, knowing that everything is unfolding in alignment with your desires. The more you can let go of the how, the more you open the door for unexpected blessings and opportunities to enter your life. To live from the end is to embody the qualities of the person who has already achieved their dreams. If you desire to be wealthy, for example, begin to feel and think as someone who is already wealthy. What does that person think, feel, and do? How do they carry themselves? What beliefs do they hold about money, success, and abundance? You begin to live as if it has already happened, and in doing so, you align yourself with the energy of abundance. The same applies to all other desires. If you wish for love, feel the warmth and security of being in a loving relationship, as though it already exists. If you desire health, imagine yourself vibrant and full of vitality, living the life of your healthiest self. The more you align your thoughts and feelings with the end result, the faster the external world will shift to match them. Living from the end also means letting go of any doubt or disbelief. As you persist in your assumption, you will inevitably face moments of doubt, times when the outer world seems to contradict what you are imagining. This is where true faith comes in. To live from the end, you must trust that your inner state will shape your outer world, no matter how things appear at the moment. The outer world is always in flux, always reflecting the inner world. It may take time for the full manifestation to show up. But when you live from the end, you know that what you desire is already yours. You are simply waiting for the physical world to catch up. In this process, patience becomes an essential quality. Living from the end does not mean rushing or forcing things into being. It means living with the deep assurance that what you want is already on its way, and that your role is simply to remain true to your inner vision. As you continue to live from the end, you will find that the world around you begins to align with the state you have created in your imagination. The law of attraction works in accordance with the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and as you persist in that feeling, the world must reflect it. Faith in the unseen is the cornerstone of creation. It is the invisible force that bridges the gap between desire and manifestation. To have faith is to trust that what you cannot yet see, touch, or prove is already real in the unseen realm. This trust requires an inner conviction that defies logic, appearances, and external circumstances. Faith is not a passive hope, it is an active, unwavering belief that the things you imagine and feel deeply will come to pass, even when all evidence points to the contrary. It is this faith that allows you to remain steadfast in the face of doubt and persist in the assumption that your desires are already fulfilled. The unseen world is the true origin of all that exists. Everything you see around you, every object, every circumstance, every experience, first existed as an idea, a thought, or an unseen energy. This is the nature of creation. Faith in the unseen is the recognition that the physical world is merely a reflection of the invisible processes that occur within your imagination. When you hold a desire in your mind and nurture it with belief and feeling, you are engaging in the creative act. The unseen is not empty, it is the rich, fertile ground where all possibilities reside. Your faith activates this potential and draws your desired outcomes into the physical world. Faith in the unseen also requires letting go of the need for immediate proof. The physical senses are limited in what they can perceive, and they often focus on what is rather than what could be. If you allow your faith to waver because you cannot yet see the results, you disrupt the creative process. True faith is independent of circumstances. It persists even when the outer world appears unchanged because it knows that the unseen forces are already at work. To trust in the unseen is to trust the process of creation, knowing that your desires are unfolding in perfect timing and alignment with your inner vision. The power of faith lies in its ability to transform your inner state, which in turn reshapes your outer reality. When you truly believe that your desires are already fulfilled, you begin to think, feel, and act as if they are. This state of being aligns you with the frequency of your desires and sets into motion the events and circumstances needed to bring them into your experience. Faith in the unseen is not a vague hope or wish, it is a deliberate choice today with choice to live in the certainty that what you seek is already yours. It is this certainty that compels the universe to rearrange itself to match your inner conviction. To cultivate faith in the unseen, you must practice persistence. This means returning to the feeling of the wish fulfilled again and again, no matter what external conditions suggest. Persistence does not mean forcing or straining, it means quietly and confidently maintaining your belief. The more you persist in faith, the stronger it becomes, and the less you are swayed by appearances. Over time, this faith becomes a natural state of being, a quiet knowing that your desires are inevitable. Faith in the unseen also requires patience. Creation is a process, and every seed you plant in your imagination needs time to grow and take shape in the physical world. When you trust in the unseen, you release the need to control or rush the process. You understand that everything is unfolding perfectly, even if the timeline does not match your expectations. Patience is not inactivity, it is an active trust that allows you to remain calm and focused, knowing that what you desire is on its way. Doubt is the greatest obstacle to faith in the unseen, and it often arises when you rely too heavily on the evidence of your senses. The outer world, being a reflection of your past thoughts and beliefs, may not immediately show signs of your desired changes. This is where faith must stand firm. Instead of reacting to appearances, you return to the inner vision of what you want. You remind yourself that the unseen is more real than the seen, because it is the source of all creation. Every great achievement, every miraculous transformation began as an act of faith in the unseen. Faith in the unseen also invites you to let go of fear. Fear arises when you focus on what you do not want or when you doubt your ability to create the life you desire. But faith and fear cannot coexist. To have faith is to trust in your own power and the infinite intelligence that governs the universe. It is to believe that you are supported in your desires and that the path to their fulfillment is already laid out before you. When you hold this faith, fear loses its grip and you move forward with confidence and peace. Ultimately, faith in the unseen is the key to unlocking your full creative potential. It is the quiet assurance that allows you to persist, even in the face of adversity. It is the inner strength that enables you to rise above appearances and hold steadfastly to your vision. With faith, You become a master of your reality, shaping your life not by chance but by design. You trust in the unseen, knowing that it is the source of all that you are and all that you desire to become.